to like basic mathematics, so suppose advance if 100 rupees is paid to us, we have to sell at least, and 10% is what the author gets. If it's a paperback, sometimes it's 7.5%. And then what they do is that, when you negotiate your contract, you can say over the sale of 15,000 copies so much, over 30,000 copies so much, and so on. But you are taking a chance, definitely. So you do aim for a bigger advance so that you don't know because if you'll ever earn back your advance and so on. In fact, there's a very famous literary agent who's no longer around, but I think one of the things he said was if he thought his authors earned back their advance, then he was doing a bad job, which meant he was getting such a phenomenal advance for them. But I'm not happy with that idea because I think I would like my books to earn back what a publisher has invested into it. And I think, that when you are writing what you really want to write, then it's almost organic in the way that a reader will want to read more of it. And I think also one of the other things that works is that when you have books, several books, you build a kind of very dedicated readership. People who are waiting for your book, who are picking it up or pre-ordering it even when it's announced and so on. So the economics of it, yes, it's like when I tell people, look, the author only makes 10%, and they're horrified because they actually think we make all of that 100 rupees and we're making just 10 rupees of it, right? So, and they're saying, why are you even doing this? So we're doing this because we like to write. The money that comes is wonderful, but it's a bonus, really.
So authors out here, you're not alone, as you can see. Even 1 million books means that you're still on that sort of a line of not quite making as much money as people think. In this digital age, when everything goes viral, everything can be shared without any problem, how do authors manage, or is there a foolproof way to ensure that you get your royalties in some way or the other, even if it's digital, even if it's shared or not?
So I think one of the things is that you go with a publishing house whose books are examined, audited routinely and stuff like that. And also after you start becoming a bestseller, as they call it, then they do tend to be, I think, careful. I mean, they wouldn't kind of take chances with you. And in my case, I have multiple editions. So it becomes humanly impossible for me to keep track of who's selling what where. And so which is why there is an agent who's brought into the picture, because the agent then kind of at least monitors it and looks at, that we get all the royalty statements, and someone takes a look at it to see that the money that the copies sold match the monies that are coming in, etc. and so on. And for those of you who don't know, most of the European nations take a huge tax component, like Italy takes something like 22%, right? And Spain takes more. France does about 22%. So, I mean, after all this, imagine, so 100 rupees, we're back to 100 rupees. This is 10 rupees, and we have to sell 10 copies or whatever, 100 copies to make that 100 rupees. And there is a tax that is deducted at source, and then the agent, of course, takes a commission, and at the end of it all is what I get my money, right? So sometimes I think that I'm earning out my advance for not just myself, but for the publisher and the country in which it's being published in. So.
And to be honest, there is no way. Publishing works on trust. So if my publisher has told me that I've sold 20,000 copies, I have to take my publisher's word for it. I can't physically go and check, oh, have you sold this, have you sold that? This morning, in fact, I received a message from a disgruntled reader who said that I bought your book on Amazon and some pages were missing. So I said, look, Amazon is a marketplace and probably you picked up a pirated copy because anyone can sell on Amazon. I said, but if it's of any consolation, I'll get my publisher to send you a copy of the book. So that's it. We don't control the selling process honestly, and we have no control over. So my books are sold in the US, but what people do, what clever Indians have done, or a clever person has done is they buy the books from India in bulk at Indian rupees, and they go there and sell it in dollars. So my book, if it costs 300 rupees in India, it comes there, Amazon US, $16, $17. They make money off it. So then someone told me, why don't you do it yourself? So that's just too much trouble for me to go and set up a warehouse in the US and sell my books. It's not worth it. I'm happy with the money I make in India. So honestly, you have no control over the process. And like Anita said, you can get an auditor to have a look at it. So in my case, my husband is a chartered accountant and he's been in the industry for many years. Moment my royalty statement comes, I just mark it to him. I said, baby, please check. So he's kind enough to check that for me. But honestly, you can't tell. And okay, one of the ways that I can tell is that now there's a Nielsen list which comes out. So that accounts, and that's very authentic, that accounts for about 60% of the sales. So if your Nielsen says that you have sold such and such a number, and that's authentic, and then you can extrapolate and see what the numbers are. And you can match it with what the publisher is telling you. And if you go with a big publishing house, you don't have to worry about it because they have process in place, they have checks in place. All you have to worry about is, are they doing enough to push your book? Yeah. And that is something that you might have to worry about. And sometimes they don't, and I have to do it myself.
So lucky you have an in-house accountant.
That's a part of the small part. The real work is actually selling those books, not checking it.
How sharp, how astute do you have to be to make sure that authors don't get taken for a ride?